In this video, I'm going to write the circle class. So the goal of this lab is to create a viable circle class. The circle class will model a circle, which is quite simple. It just has one field or instance variable, a double variable that stores the radius of the corresponding circle. The state of this variable is what describes a particular circle or circle object. So here's the class declaration. Here's the class header, and here's the instance variable. Your classes should be public. The public class circle, we open curly brackets, and in here I'm going to create a double radius variable. This is our instance variable, and every circle that I create will have a radius. Next, a class is a blueprint for objects, and in order to make objects, your class needs a constructor. The constructor should set the value of the radius field equal to the supplied parameter. So rad here is the parameter, and radius is the instance variable. So let's add the constructor. Constructors should probably be public. A constructor has the same name as the class, and in this case, it'll have one parameter in the parameter list, and this will be rad for the radius. And inside of the constructor, the job of the constructor is to initialize the instance variables. So we only have one instance variable, which is radius, and we set it equal to rad, which is the parameter. Our constructor is complete. Now it's time to add the methods. Your circle class should have the following methods. Let's write the first one, public double get diameter. This method should return a double, the diameter of the circle object. And of course, we're going to use the instance variable for the radius for this. So this method has the following header, public double get diameter. It doesn't need to take any parameters in here because all the calculation is just twice the radius. And I already know what the radius of the circle is. So this method is completed. Let's get the next method. Next method is public double get area. This method returns a double, the area of the circle object. Public double get area. And the formula for area is pi r squared. So I'm going to grab math.pi, pi r squared, so that's the radius squared. And instead of using math.pi, I'll just say radius times radius. So that method is complete. Get the next method. The next method is get circumference. Public double get circumference. And again, we can calculate the circumference just using the radius. So that is 2 pi r, so 2 times pi times the radius. And so this circle class is complete. To finish the lab, we're going to create some client code that's going to run our circles or create our circles and run them. So when you've completed your circle class, in a new class called circle runner that contains a public static void main method, create 2 circle objects, each with a different value for the radius, call the methods in your object, and note how each object has all the methods of the class, but will produce different results based on the values. So there's an example here, but I'm going to write my own. So I can just create a new class here. I'm in IntelliJ, so this is kind of an easy way for me to make a class. But you make a new class called Circle Runner in your IDE. So this will have a main. There it is, public static void main string args. And in here, I'm going to create 2 circle objects. Circle C1 We'll call the constructor here, and I'll pass in 2.0. And then I will make a separate circle, C2, and it also equals a new circle, but this one will have a different size radius. This will have a radius of 3.5. So for fun, I'm going to just print the radius of C1. And then I'll print the radius of C2 just so we can see what they look like. So again, we're using the dot operator. So an object reference followed by the dot operator followed by the field. So radius is a field. So C1 has a radius of 2.0 and C2 has a radius of 3.5. Now let's call the get diameter. C1 dot get diameter. And we'll do the same thing for C2. The diameter is just twice the radius, so this should be 4.0 and 7. And then we can call the other methods. So this will be area, and this will be and those values seem to make sense. And that finishes our circle class.